Hello Clash fans, Trample Damage coming at you today from the comfort of my closet, where I am still in quarantine from having COVID. This army is incredible. We're not going to waste a whole lot of time chatting through some stuff. I'm just going to tell you what the army is. It starts with 2 Ice Golems, 3 Root Riders, and my Electro Titan, with my Apprentice Warden, and a Log Launcher, and then my King and my Queen. So the general gist here is push in with that initial squad, and then we run amok with Hog Riders. Now, there's not a whole lot of better ways to demonstrate that. Oh, we promoted to Champion 1 Clan War League. Good job, Trample Damage. And the good guys. We had a good season. We tied. We won on damage percentage, but we had a missed attack. So we would have been very angry with our clanmate who missed an attack. But we did pretty well. We had 4 people finish at 19 stars, and we had 3 more people finish at 18 stars. So decent showing for us. My Rochester base had 5 triples. My Trample Damage base had 4 triples. All of my attacks using this same army composition. And I'm going to showcase the 3 main types of bases that we wind up attacking. Like, I always just bucket bases mentally into diamond bases, which this attack is incredibly good against. Let's actually start with that one. Let me start with that one, because the next one on here is a little bit too easy and obvious. So it's a fast attack, 2 minutes for this thing to go down. I will tell you that diamond base is what I mean is something where Town Hall is somewhat on the other side of the base, and then there's usually an Eagle Artillery and some other goodies on this side. So I'm usually trying to take out this stuff here with my heroes. Then I'll move my Hog Riders in this direction toward the Town Hall, triggering the Warden's ability by the Town Hall, usually raging on top of the Town Hall to get the Hog Riders away from it, and then finishing up somehow by the skin of my teeth. Now, there is a question of funneling here. And I'm going to take this as a good example to show you when I wind up having 3 defenses like this on the outside of a base. I used to use 2 Yetis with this, but now I use 3 Root Riders. So what I'm doing when I get these sort of 3 defenses, I'm doing an Ice Golem on each of these 2 perimeter defenses, on these 2 outside defenses, followed by a Root Rider behind each of them, and then a Root Rider with the Electro Titan. So there goes, you can see the setup there. It's an Ice Golem, and I deploy, multi-fingers at the same time. So 2 Ice Golems, and then 2 Root Riders, and a 3rd Root Rider up top, followed quickly by the Electro Titan, the Log Launcher, the Queen, and the Apprentice Warden. I usually give my Barbarian King just a moment, so that he will at least come inside to play with the rest of the crew. Sometimes he winds up walking, which is honestly not a problem because I'm a big fan of the Vamp Stash. We will be talking about this as we go through this epic tutorial for the Super Hog Rider army. So wait a moment for the Barbarian King to make sure that he's going to head in, which at this point, I felt like those Wizard Towers are going to be down. He will head toward the Grand Warden, and he will stay on course, which he does. Then, the next step, rage. We're going to just rage everybody up. They'll move quickly through here. 3 Root Riders with the King and the Queen and an Electro Titan can cause quite a bit of problems. Normally, I will use my 3 freeze spells. You see, I used 1 already. I will normally use my 3 freeze spells on the Town Hall or in the close environs around the Town Hall, or sometimes to help my Hog Riders on the way in. But when I have a lot of heavy fire like this, especially with these ricochet cannons, I will often wind up using a free spell on the way in just to buy a little bit more time, particularly in this event here because there was a rage tower. And I thought, oh man, 2 raged ricochet cannons, that's going to be a nightmare. And so I went ahead and froze 1, and of course the Rage Tower is about to trigger, maybe it already did, and I'm using my 2nd Rage spell. So my Rage spells normally go one after the other. Of course, a poison for the enemy clan castle troops, and then I wait. And at this point, I am trying to gauge when I want to bring in my Hog Riders. Normally what I do is when I want the pathing right? So if the Hog Riders are going to come in on this side, I would rather see this Inferno Tower down, and I'd rather not have that Ricochet Cannon up. These 2 defenses I would rather are down so that my Hogs would come straight into this compartment. On this side, most of that funnel is essentially already set, so it wouldn't look bad to be coming in over there. So we've got the King and the Queen in the core, or we've got the King in the core here, and the Yetis pop. The Clan Castle, the Log Launcher has... When the Log Launcher pops, it has 2 Yetis and a Super Hog Rider. So my goal was to just get that stuff cleared out. But because I had this Ricochet Cannon down, I figured my Hogs are going to come in here nicely. So we go ahead and send in the Hog Riders, and this is where kind of a lot of stuff is happening at the same time, but you have to be very cautious and make sure that you are proactively using a heal spell relatively early on. Unchecked, a scatter shot can absolutely tear your Hog Riders up. Now what you'll notice is I'm using the traditional Warden abilities. I might at some point swap out the Life Gem for the Healing Tome, but I'm not actually a big fan of the Rage Gem. And I'll tell you the same thing on my Queen. This attack, for me, it's about slower roll. Because with the Healer Puppet instead of the Archer Puppet, my Archer Queen has a lower damage per second, which means she moves a little bit more slowly, which gives her more time to heal, plus the beautiful self-healing on the Healer. And the Vamp Stash on the Barbarian King gives him time to recover hit points as he pounds his way through the base. So it's all about taking my time and banking on healing more so than going off of speed and rage. And that really, really works for this attack. So one heal spell I'll usually use for the first compartment the Hog Riders are heading into, because I'm normally going to see a scatter shot, or I'm going to wind up seeing a multi-archer tower, or potentially a ricochet cannon. Now what you'll notice, barbarians over here. I love the barbarian puppet. It gives the barbarian king many more hit points, and it gives him more healing, which, I don't know, maybe listen to my podcast and you'll hear me talk about that on my next podcast episode, Inside Clash with Trample Damage. Ooh, and you're already invested. Use code Trample. Haha, there, I sold myself. So second heal spell, usually on the way in toward the Town Hall, and here's where my freezes will start coming into play. I want to keep the Town Hall under wraps as long as possible, and then presto, Grand Warden ability triggers, and then the very next moment, the bomb goes on the Town Hall. I do not use that ability prior to the Town Hall blowing up. Some people I see, they trigger it before the Town Hall gets destroyed, but you actually have another second or a second and a half in there where you can wait and then eventually trigger it. So you can see Hog Riders just absolutely killing it through here. The Grand Warden with Diggy. Diggy's in there somewhere. The Royal Champion has the Spirit Fox, and my Archer Queen with her healers has now moved into a role where she could actually start tanking some of these bigger defenses because of her self-healing. Between the Unicorn and the Healer Puppet, she gets back 105 hit points per second throughout the course of the entire attack, which is really awesome. Here, I did not need the the Royal Champion's ability, and this base just got absolutely crushed and destroyed, and we're super proud of ourselves. GG's, Trample Damage, way to go. Okay, let's jump back out of here. And we will go to the next attack. My team, Trample Damage, against Sergeant Waffles. I'm going to take a drink. So this one is an interesting one. I didn't want to start with this one because it actually does everything that I could possibly want for me by putting these walls here. Like, it's literally forcing my troops to go in here. And I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be much easier. I flagged this one very early on in the war. And here's where I see one defense at the top. I will normally put the ice golems on opposite sides, but then I will send in my root riders, and then my log launcher, and my queen, and my electro titan, and my apprentice warden, and we are off to the races. I did wait a moment for the king, because I actually was hoping that the walls would be down before the king came in, and then I decided, nah, send the king in. You'll notice I do have the Phoenix on my Barbarian King, and I actually am liking Frosty the most on him right now. So now they actually moved through here so quickly that the closest building for the Barbarian King is this Dark Barracks, so he's actually going to be heading outside to go fight with that instead. But you will see that I do have one rage spell of mine, which is this one up here. The enemy rage tower has triggered, but I am going to go ahead and put my second rage spell. I thought I put my second rage spell. No, I didn't. You're a liar, Trample Damage. Well, I didn't put it yet. So free spell, a couple ice golems, not always the best thing for this army. There we go. There's my second rage spell. I'm trying to get the root riders and the archer queen covered in here along with those yetis once they popped out, but we're seeing the exact same thing as we saw on the other attack. We'll come back to my Archer Queen, but we'll focus over here. The Hog Riders on their way in. Heal spell coming down. Heal spell coming down. The Ricochet Cannon and the Scatter Shot. Not a lot of fun for those Hogs to play with, but you can see my Archer Queen doing her thing on the back end over there. Still has not triggered her ability. She's at full health. Full health and has her ability, and we are like a minute and change into this attack, and she is just absolutely cruising along with no problem. Another heal spell was used for the Super Hogs. Grand Warden and company attacking the town hall. Trigger the Grand Warden's ability. Everybody booms. That is my rage spell, moving everybody out of the blast radius as quickly as possible. Archer Queen chilling over here, getting hit by the rage cannon, which is going to end the unicorn. Oh no, poor unicorn's gonna get ended by the ricochet cannon. The Archer Queen says, you know what? I like my unicorn. I want to get out of here. Barbarian King doing his thing down here. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, trample damage, why aren't you rocking that big giant gauntlet? And I'm going to tell you, I love the extra hit points on the Barbarian King from the Barbarian Puppet. I love the extra healing he gets. You have to take over 6,000 points of damage while under the gauntlet's ability in order for the gauntlet to make more sense than the Barbarian Puppet. So I'm just saying, it's a very powerful ability, I know, but the Barbarian Puppet gives so many hit points. Royal Champion is invisible, and when she's rolling with the Grand Warden, it's kind of like having both Diggy and the Fox on her at the same time. It's such a powerful attack. And let's check out these heroes. We got King at a little bit over 50% health. The Royal Champion is at nearly full health. The Archer Queen is at nearly full health. The Grand Warden is on his last leg. But that's right, all 4 of my heroes are still up. This is a very common way for me to say, and look, bunch of barbarians. Barbarian Puppet, useful tool. Those barbarians end a lot of things for me. Okay, so those are 2 diamond bases. We're going to go faster through these next 2 diamond bases. And war info, Rochester, view on map. Oops. Replay. Uh-oh. Is that me? That is somebody attacking me. Hold on, which I need a new base. I got 3-starred quite a few times with my Rochester base this Clan War League, so I definitely need a new base. Okay, here we go. Diamond base, Town Hall opposite corner. Ooh, we're going to be coming in over here. We'll go a little quicker, and you'll just see all the telltale things we said. Ice Golems, Root Riders, Electro Titan, the Log Launcher, the Apprentice Warden, King and Queen, Rage Spell right on our way in. A second rage spell coming shortly behind that. The Barbarian King looks very happy, but he's getting targeted by the monolith. Sometimes I will use a free spell, but it looked like he was going to get out of range, so I said, forget it. We'll just let him do his thing. Now, oh, this is the one I did. This was so sad. I accidentally triggered my Grand Warden ability right as they came in. I don't remember. Look at that right away. Not intentional. I saved, a little bit of damage from an Expo, but that was pretty much it. So it was really unfortunate. And I remember just thinking, great, I just cost myself what would otherwise have been a really good attack. But the attack is so strong and so powerful, and the King is so vamp stashy, and the Queen is so healer puppety, that we are still going to take this down. So the Queen takes down the monolith and eventually winds up dealing with the ice golems as well. Using those heal spells, using my 3 freezes on the town hall because I know I'm going to be in some trouble, and I'm just trying to protect those hog riders as long as I possibly can. The Grand Warden is useless at this point aside from the life gem because now this is where I would normally have triggered the Eternal Tome and the base would have gone down, no problem. Very, very quickly, everybody's happy, but my hog riders kind of got melted in there. They have, a 15, 16, 8, I think 1,800 hit points. I think they have 1,800 hit points, but the Royal Champion with the Fox and Diggy, which is what happens so often with this attack, is just an absolutely punishing combination because, all the reasons why the Royal Champion is good with Diggy make sense for why she's also good with the Diggy and the Fox, but she puts in an absolute mountain of work. And again, you see here, Archer Queen, full health, go healer puppet. That thing is amazing. Grand Warden, almost full health as well. My Barbarian King, chilling with his guitar. And the Royal Champion, not at full health, but very close. And we are on our way. Diamond bases, you can see it's a very similar routine that we are dealing with every single time we run the attack. We are going to go one more diamond base. We are coming all the way across. Now, here's one thing that I wanted to show this one just because sometimes the funneling is a little weird. If this Archer Tower had not been here, I wouldn't have worried about the Root Riders wandering. I would have just said, okay, everybody's just going to pile straight in through here. I would have done 1 Ice Golem on each cannon, all 3 Root Riders, bang, 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 Rage Spell, and this whole corner area would have been wiped out, and we would have gotten at least a few of these buildings here with the Clan Castle troops and either the King or the Queen. But This archer tower over here made me think, oh, I don't know, maybe some of the troops are going to get pulled funny and it's going to hurt my funneling a little bit. So I decided this is what I'll use sometimes, is the Electro Titan to form essentially one side of the funnel. She's got a lot of hit points, so I thought she can tank all of these for just a moment, and I can send, unfortunately, because of the multi-archer tower, I don't have the opportunity to do what we used to do with Yetis funneling, where you could put a Yeti and a wizard behind them, because the multi-archer tower will simply stop for a moment, flay the wizard, and then go back to dealing all 3 arrows worth of damage to the Yeti. But Electro Titan over here to essentially tank that side of the base, and then we did 2 ice golems on this side along with the 3 root riders, and what I wanted was this archer tower down, so I have a little bit of a funnel here. I have my troops that can come into the base and they can cause some problems in here, which is what I wanted. I wanted everybody to go ahead and stay inside here. My king, however, because of the distance between, and this is actually, it's so funny because it used to be that when I was making this attack, I would always be frustrated when the king would go back outside, but I actually love it now because he can play through all of this area here with nothing stopping him because of how much he's going to be recovering with the vamp stash. We will come back to that. So, 2 rage spells in the books, and we've got root riders rootin', and we've got archer queens queenin', and we've got a log launcher launching, and we've got some clan castle troops coming out, and we're going to go ahead and start the second stage of the attack, which is, of course, the Super Hog riders, and there's nothing really scary out here, so I went ahead and deployed my wizards ahead of time for some cleanup. Hog riders coming in, ricochet cannon there, scary, so let's go ahead and put a heal spell. Heal spell. Heal spell. I was probably paying attention to my heroes. Heal spell down. We can protect ourselves a little bit. The Archer Queen is in the core there. Where'd she go? Archer Queen doing her thing, fighting the clan castle troops. We have a second heal spell coming up here in front of the town hall. We have a free spell on the town hall. We have another free spell on the town hall and the poison. Then we're going to go ahead and drop the rage spell, and then we will trigger the Eternal Tome. It looks just like the other stuff. You can see the ricochet cannon down here, wasting the unicorn, disappearing in a puff of purple smoke. But the Archer Queen is going to manage to take out that ricochet cannon and then trigger her healers because she almost pops. Boop. Invisibility vial, very valuable. We still have a bunch of troops up in here. Royal Champion, invisible with the fox, still alive. And I love when the fox is like way behind her and just like staying alive out of trouble. But we are starting to take a little bit of damage in here. Fox makes her invisible again. Lots of defenses coming in here. But here comes the Barbarian King. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, why wasn't that king where you needed him? And I just think the king is always where you need him. He is so strong. Have not triggered his ability yet. We've got all this stuff going down. The queen rocking some stuff in there. The healers transferred over to the Yetis for some reason. Monolith goes down. The Wizard Tower goes down. Everything's going down. The Grand Ward's going down. The Barbarian King didn't even use his ability. Completely full health. Gutted this entire portion of the base by himself, regaining hit points the entire time. I'm telling you, this attack is amazing for diamond bases. Now, we're going to show... Now we're going to show some of the box bases, because this war here... Was it this one? Yes, this war here had a box base. I'm going to be able to show a box base. So, pause. What normally would happen with these attacks in the past is, I'd try and do a little bit of funneling here, and I'd try and do a little funneling over here, and then try and send my troops into this compartment. Or the same thing on this side. Now, the multi-archer tower makes a wizard funneling a little bit tricky unless you can just take full advantage of the fact that they didn't have any of the things covering those, in which case my yellow-coated assassin can go in there and destroy some stuff, and then we can get on with our attack. We have 2 buildings going down. Now, Ice Golems, Root Riders, Electro Titan, Super... What else we got in there? Apprentice Warden, King Queen, Log Launcher, and we Rage right away. The Rage right away is so important. It just gets those Root Riders in there very quickly. One downside is the Root Riders, when they rage through a wall, they won't necessarily destroy that wall brick. So King is in here taking some fire from the poison. He's getting pounded on by stuff. A couple of ice golems in there. And I have yet to start the Super Hogs, mainly because that Archer Tower. I'm like, go down, Archer Tower, so that my Hogs will come in toward this direction here. And finally, Electro Titan takes down that Archer Tower. My Archer Queen is going after this Bomb Tower. My Barbarian King is going to help out. I went ahead and triggered his ability, and now here come the Hogs because I'm going to have the path I want. So sometimes you need to show a little bit of patience, but it's also tricky. There's a lot of intuition with this. Sometimes I'll send them in ahead of time because I'm worried that they're taking too much damage. But the Expo is down, and I have a beautiful funnel. I do have 4 regular Hog Riders, which I will often send in just to buy myself a little bit of time from, to distract stuff like Ricochet Cannons and Scatter Shots. Heal Spell on the way in. Poor little Headhunter tried to do his thing. Didn't end up working out. King and Queen pound on their way through the core. You can see the King is recovering hit points as he goes. The Queen is recovering hit points as she goes, even though we have not used her ability. Second heal spell comes down. We are rolling through here with our Hog Riders, and I went ahead and I thought I used the Warden ability a little early on this one. It does not appear that I did. I thought I used it a little earlier on this one. But Rage Spell onto the Town Hall. Use the Grand Warden's ability. Town Hall is going to go down. Oh, we freeze it. The King and the Queen go down in the core. King's popped. Where'd he go? He's in there somewhere. There he is. Poor King and Queen. They're down. The Royal Champion, though, is a beast. Still hasn't used her ability. Most of these defenses are down. She finishes off this base for us, which is a very common occurrence because she's just that strong. She can take out the rest of these defenses, head into the core, and grab those last few buildings. And we got a triple go trample damage, 3 stars. Okay. Now, we're going to go out of here because most of what I hit in Clan War League were those diamond bases. But my attack log is just this army composition, and you can see it works well. This is all Legend League attacks. I'm not up in the 5,900 time frame, but let's see here. This one, I think, was a box base, box-ish. So the other thing that I wind up doing with these, I think I used the Titan on this one. If I don't feel like I have a nice, easy tight funnel on one side, I will just use the Electro Titan. Is the Electro Titan coming to play? Here we go. Electro Titan. Electro Titan coming in, getting some help from the Wizard. Then I have a little bit of a funnel. As soon as she comes into play, then we just go ahead and go Ice Golems, Root Riders, Apprentice Warden, Queen, King, with Frosty. I'm loving him with Frosty. Log Launcher and a Rage Spell right away, pushing in toward the core. Now here's one where I don't always, oh look at that, we are using a free spell a little bit early because that Inferno Tower and that Eagle Artillery can certainly cause some problems for us, and look how early I bring in the Super Hogs. I realize that maybe I'm not going to get exactly the funnel I want, and so I just go ahead and send them in a little bit earlier, hoping that my King and Queen can take out some of these buildings before the Super Hogs are pulled that direction. And in this attack, some of them did go in toward the core, but the rest are headed off to the side where I want them. We have 1 Rage Spell being used there on the Clan Castle troops as they come out. 2nd Heal Spell coming down for the Hogs. Freezes on the Town Hall. Everybody just swooping through. Normally, the heroes are not going to make it all the way to the Town Hall to take everything out, but in this case, they happen to do so. My Archer Queen pops her healer puppet inside there. She now has 3 healers, plus her self-healing going at 35 hit points per second that she is recovering, and I still have the ability for the Royal Champion, along with the Fox up, and Diggy helping to stun, and this base is absolutely crushed and buried. I will show 2 more attacks against more centrally located town halls. So, not exactly like a ring base, but let me see here. It is this one here. Yes. So I didn't like any of the pathing. I hate rings, and my least favorite are the centrally located town halls, but I'm trying to find an opportunity where I could potentially get my Queen and King in range of the town hall, and then I send my Hogs in shortly after that. In this example here, I decided to come in from the top, and it's really just like this full push in toward the core. Hurry up. There we go. Same deal. Ice Golems, Root Riders, Log Launcher, Apprentice Wardens, Electro Titan, and the King and Queen. I am using a Rage Spell right away like I normally do, and I am following it up with another Rage Spell. Where's my other Rage Spell? There's my other Rage Spell. And then my Hogs already coming in. Because what I want to have happen is I want the Hogs to start sort of coming in on this side to help collapse things down, and then keep my heroes and my clan castle pushing toward the town hall, because the goal is to try to get to the town hall with my clan castle troops, which usually means spending all 3 of my free spells on there, and often spending my final rage to help them take down the town hall. Now, in this one here, I kind of knew that I was going to be fine because my Archer Queen was going to be able to take the Town Hall with her ability, and it was really just a function of the cleanup on the outside after that. She does trigger her ability. She gets her healers, hoping to keep her alive through the Town Hall poison. I have both of my heal spells done. My Grand Warden's Eternal Tome was already used, and at this point, so many of the defenses have been taken down that the Royal Champion by herself is almost able to take down the rest of the base. She does put a beating on a lot of these defenses, and you can see here again, it is the Royal Champion with Diggy and the Fox comes over here to get the Wizard Tower, and Diggy says, no problem, I got your back. And then the Ricochet Cannon, Diggy stuns it, no problem, I got your back. Invisible Grand Warden also has her back, and this base is absolutely cooked. This is such a powerful army. I'm loving it every step of the way. I do think that I'm going to probably wind up favoring or continuing to favor... Hang on, what was the last one we're going to show? A centrally located-ish one. This one, Galaxy 1. Somewhat centrally located. Now, when I do this sometimes, I'll look at the replays and I try to ask myself, what would you do? So you take a look at this base here and ask yourself, with all the stuff I've been talking about, what might you do in terms of the approach toward this base? And my initial thought was, oh, I could try to come in on the monolith side because it would take out some of these and it would take out the king and the queen. But then my pathing would come into, you know, sort of a split around here. If my heroes didn't make it far enough, my hogs might start getting pulled this direction after coming to the mortar. So I thought if I come in from the top and I take out most of these defenses, I could hog straight into all of this stuff here. And then because there's no defenses on the outside here, they would come pathing right naturally back toward the town hall, which is what I decided to do. So if you said that, you got the answer correct for what I would do. We did also spit... Oh, I paused. Stupid. We did do ice golems over here and over here, and then a split of the Root Riders behind them. But again, it's the same thing that you've been expecting to see. Rage Spell, all the same troops we've been bringing in, and then because my Barbarian King is outside, I know what you're thinking, oh no, trample damage, you're in trouble, he's going the wrong direction. But we now bring in our Hog Riders, and the Hog Riders are going to take out these defenses, which sends the King back inside following the Root Riders. I went ahead and used a heal spell here to help protect from the impending blast of the Eagle Artillery. I have a second rage spell that was used in the core, and I am now putting my third rage spell down there at the Town Hall. Second heal spell coming down, triggering the Grand Warden's ability on our way into the Town Hall just to keep everybody as safe as possible, and then it is just a matter of waiting from there. King, Vamp Stash, and Barbarian Puppet both maxed. That's right, that is the drug of choice for this attack for the Barbarian King. I triggered the Queen's Healer Puppet. She is so good. She is so strong with those healers on there. And I've had maybe one or two times where I had a time fail because her damage output is lower with the Healer Puppet than it is with the Archer Puppet, but it's usually actually a good thing. She takes her time and racks up more hit points, and this attack can go so punishingly quickly that I do not mind her taking her time to be able to recover more hit points. I think you should use this army. You have to try this out. You know, if you don't have the same... hero equipment on your troops, which is really the two key ones I think are the Vamp Stash and the Healer Puppet. So even if you're not, because my other equipment, I'm just using the basic equipment for the Warden and for the Royal Champion. So and I'm using the Invisibility Vial still for the Archer Queen and the Barbarian Puppet for the King. So really, if you wanted to sub out the Barbarian Puppet for the Gauntlet, you can try it out. I still have not put anything into my Gauntlet, and I have not put anything into my Giant Arrow, and I haven't put anything into my Rage Gem, but I am slowly going to start leveling this thing up, but I want to get my 18th level on my Healer Puppet first, and then I will finish up my Invisibility Vial. Then I'm going to start tinkering with the Healing Tome, because I actually think that there is some possibility for that. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to share this with your clanmates. It was a long one. Thank you for hanging out with us and spending time with me somewhere in your house while I was in my closet recording this with a little bit of a stuffy nose, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. Follow me on all my social media. Make sure that you check out my podcast, Inside Clash with Trample Damage. Another episode should be coming out soon because I am actually starting to get all of my health back. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we will check you guys out on the next video.